we have got the next set ready for you. Spicy Calamari versus Chicken Coop. Now again, I'm not quite familiar with these teams as... Well, again, they're quite new to me, but I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, I like seeing new teams. If any of these new teams like start, I guess I should ask: are they mostly European teams?
I'm unsure. Like a majority of our players, if I recall correctly, we do have a lot more American players on average when it comes to like teams.
That makes sense. I just like seeing new players in the scene because it's just a lot easier to share resources when you're like actively learning about new teams who might be competing in the scene with you. Like every time a new team pops up, it's just like another more people to scrim, more people to like review VODs with, more competition.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, the more the merrier. And like that's kind of what we live for as well. Seeing people like come in for the first time, have their first experience with Stronghold. It's a really like it's a great feeling to know that like so like we're able to help people get a good start and enjoy the game in the competitive sense. Now, yeah.
So, starting with Chicken Coop, I noticed that they have by the way, we have one of the names on the overlay incorrect. Sorry, not one of the streamer names.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, yeah, the commentator.
But yeah, the more the merrier, really. And there are 5 players on Chicken Coop, it seems. Do we know which 4 are playing?
We'll have to find out once the match starts. For the moment.
All right. Well, first map is Undertow Rainmaker. This is an incredibly... It's such a fascinating map mode combination to me because it's a map that benefits a lot of like fast weapons that like to that like to move around all the different off angles, can have more mobility around the slopes. But then it comes with Rainmaker, which is oftentimes a very slow-paced mode instead. So proper pacing for pushes, knowing when to slow down when in control of the Rainmaker, and knowing when to speed up and take all the fights that you can, and just having like just being as mobile as possible. Mixing up your pacing is pretty important on it.
Indeed. Now we'll see how these players handle the mode. Once again, like it's Undertow Spillway with Rainmaker. It's a classic at this point for Splatoon 3 competitive. So we're going to see how both players approach this. Some very different comps on both sides, both with Wavebreaker though. So we'll have to see how they handled both defense and offense. Now we have both teams get running rather quickly, but damage goes in the way of Spicy Calamari, and Spicy Calamari does pop the Rainmaker. So they do have a lot of paint advantage, but they aren't seeming to be able to get much picks out of it. A lot of auto balance spam coming out of the Octobrush for the moment, not finding an opening. The Pro and the... never mind, the Octobrush just swims up and whacks one. The Pro does go down, and they have Kraken ready. So this push might actually be a fairly solid initial startup. But looks like nothing's coming out. Kraken is ready and will actually go for the bucket. The Rainmaker's coming to the right. The bucket attempts to catch them out, but no! They have their team. Their team is covering them for the Rainmaker carrier. Oh my goodness, what a strong first checkpoint, bro. Great kid.
Spicy Calamari definitely has the more aggressive comp here, I would say. A much faster and more mobile backline, along with 2 short range and more mobile weapons. Oh my god, they're just going to push this straight to 15. That's an incredibly valuable choke point to break through, and Chicken Coop is going to have to put in a lot of work to make this same push. This is one of those checkpoints where at higher levels of play, you'll often see one team just like stall out the Rainmaker advantage here and just prevent oh my god, we're scoring even further. All the way to 8 points. This is one of those times where at higher levels of play, you would sometimes see teams just like stall out the Rainmaker.
Indeed. Yeah, but breakneck aggression coming out from Spicy Calamari. We need an equivalent or harder response from Chicken Coop at this point to get themselves out of a bad situation. The problem is they've elected to pick up the Rainmaker from their choke point in their spawn, and the Kraken is just going to chase them down as their team is not ready to protect them, nor able to, because it's Kraken, unfortunately. Now, again, Spicy Calamari has the Rainmaker popped, and they have a player sharking up ahead, so who sneaks up on who here? The Octobrush goes for the pick, doesn't get it, actually does, and gets 2! Oh no, they're gonna get 3. They do get 3! Teta is going in and has a strong aura at this point. They have built up a lot of aura and are now waiting for maybe another ambush. But no, it looks like they're going to run into the carbon and have themselves put in the tracks for the moment. But the Rainmaker does move back towards Chicken Coop's choke point.
Yeah, you could see that for a bit there, Spicy Calamari's resources were split a bit too thin there. We had one person in front of the Rainmaker carrier, and then nobody to actually protect the heavy that was carrying the Rainmaker behind them. So they just got flanked by the pro. We were able to shut down that push pretty well. We just gotta pop the shield here and take as much control as we can. We do have special advantage, and now we have the numbers advantage. Carbon getting the pick here. The double kill with the Zuka. We got to get a triple off of this? No, but we do take a lot of control of mid here. Another one goes down. This is an opportune time for a push in any direction.
Ooh, that was a careful whiff. That was an unfortunate whiff. And now again, Spicy Calamari just winning the brawls really. Like they are just coming out on top by a hair at times with these brawls, and it's just when it's working in their favor, so that they keep this offensive going with their teammates coming back. Another one goes down to the Kraken, and like, oh my goodness, yeah, no, Chicken Coop is really struggling to keep up here, but it's looking like that at least they can try and keep themselves in the match by constantly killing the Rainmaker. Oh no, this is not looking good.
Yeah, throwing ourselves into the Rainmaker is a panic option. It happens a lot. I've done it myself, where you just, like, panic. You really want the Rainmaker to stop, and it's emergency to you, and it's just, you throw yourself at the Rainmaker, and it does not feel good to go down there.
Agreed. It's always better to take out the players that are surrounding the Rainmaker to make sure that you can actually secure the kill, but unfortunately here, it is going to be a very difficult task because they are just keep coming. Like, Spicy Calamari's players just keep coming to keep their Rainmaker carrier alive, but the timer has to be ticking down at this point. They need to make a move for the checkpoint, for the goal right now, otherwise they may just explode.
I love
making the move. Yeah, very patient.
Yeah, I love how the brush carrying the Rainmaker was super patient with that push, made sure the space was cleared, didn't overextend. You can see they went around the corner just to get a nice visual to see where everybody was, and then backed up when they realized it wasn't safe. It was incredible pacing on that push, and that just tells us that 8 points that they scored last time was not a fluke, because they pretty much made it right back there a second time.
Great, indeed. But now we're at another brawl in mid, but unfortunately again they picked up the Rainmaker and get picked by the Kraken, and now Chicken Coop is once again being dismantled player by player, and it's not looking good for their last minute offensive.
Yeah, we have Spicy Calamari getting 2 down immediately with the last seconds remaining. There's nothing we could do, unfortunately. It was going to be really hard to get around, especially that Dread with the Reef Slider. Honestly, with the 5 seconds left on the clock, you can't really pick up that Rainmaker anymore. As soon as the Dread has Reef Slider, if you don't kill that thing, you just can't grab it.
Yep. Because it's just gonna, like, the second you touch it, you're just gonna hear the sound effect and just... Now, we're going to Hagglefish zones next, and I'm really interested to see how it flips, because Elither on Hagglefish is notorious for being able to zone people out.
Yeah, so you said heavy, right?
Elither.
A leader. Yeah, standing on the tent is a really, like, standing on the tent and standing, like, right under the ledge, like, right outside of mid, seem to be the most popular spots, and it's just kind of hard to, like, really challenge it, because it has full sight lines on, like, the flank route to its right, if it's on 10, and if it's, like, right below the ledge in mid, you just can't stand anywhere in mid. It's just not allowed. You can't do it.
I mean, I do believe both teams have a Zuka weapon on their composition for this, so it's not gonna be a guaranteed hold on the tent for either of the backlines. You just gotta be very careful, and you're not standing still when you hear that thing pop, because otherwise, whoa, one-shot hitbox be upon you.
Yeah, that's the scary part about standing on 10, is that there's no paint for you to, like, swim through. So if you hear that Zuka pop, it might already be over. You might not be able to avoid it.
You are already splatted.
Yeah, that's how it feels with Zuka sometimes. The Zuka comes out, and there are occasionally times, like, especially with Leader, with those heavyweight stats, if it's standing on the tent where there's no ink, it's not going to be easy to get out of that if they're, like, if the Zuka gets popped, and that thing is aimed well, they might just die, like, instantly.
Indeed. But again, it's Hagglefish is one of the maps that we've played so much over the course of this game's lifetime that a lot of people have just become like familiar with it just by proxy. Now, I'm not sure whether we're going to see some composition changes from this team. We do. We actually see a Brella come out over the Octadash.
Go!
Oh, we love to see it, Brella player. We love to see a Brella come out. Let's go. Now, we do have actually the E-Litter went heavy for Chicken Coop, which is an interesting one. But to be fair, I don't blame them picking heavy on this map, given the amount of wave breakers you can put out with Sprinkler and everything. Now, both teams are going to have to start with a standard one. No early picks? We're going to have to see how the situation evolves.
Picking the heavy here also lets Spicy Calamari, or sorry, it was a Chicken Coop that had the leader before. It lets Chicken Coop compete in the paint department. Heavy, with that incredible uptime, can just like keep the zone painted pretty much all by itself, sometimes even in like a 1v3 or 1v4. So making sure that you can compete with that paint output on a map like, on a mode like Zones is pretty important. The Chicken Coop goes 2 down here, and Spicy Calamari can definitely take space here. The Carbon doesn't really have a lot of options to help hold, but they're going to try their best, allowing their other teammates to jump in, and Spicy Calamari couldn't push past to take that space. Chicken Coop did a pretty good job of making sure that they were walled out enough until their team showed up, and then
oh my goodness!
He's gonna get a triple! Oh,
no, not quite. The Brella actually saves itself with a very, well, opportune timed shield flare. But the thing is now, Chicken Coop has actually flipped the script on Spicy Calamari here. Unfortunately, the heavy does go down, but that doesn't mean their hold is over. Never mind, Reef Slider plus Inkjet is just going to create a load of wide damage hitboxes to chip away and combo the enemy back down. Now, Chicken Coop is again on the back foot, and they need to retake this zone rather quickly, otherwise they're going to lose their penalty in safety net. They do take it with a combination of Ink Strike and a couple of bombs, but that's going to quickly get painted over again, and Spicy Calamari is going to resume their timer. Cooler comes out, and looks like they're going to be a push initiating, but the Carbon needs to be patient. Do they go for it? They do! Unfortunately, nothing comes of it. Oh! That was close.
2 going down as a trade from both teams, and then 1 more going down on Spicy Calamari, another going down on Chicken Coop, and then a full wipeout on Chicken Coop. Spicy Calamari can definitely turn this around. We got to paint zone, move up a little bit, and stop everybody else from coming in. Chicken Coop currently has the issue of a bit of a range advantage compared to Spicy Calamari. So Spicy Calamari might be able to wall them out for a little while, but they do go 2 down. They do go 3 down, and the strikes come out, and they retake. Good use of the specials to good use of specials for displacement and to take back, and they immediately take this space. This is another back and forth game where neither team has a pretty comfortable lead, really. The penalty is already going down to nothing for Chicken Coop. Their points are going to start clicking down. They could definitely take lead here. Oh, but a potential double from the Reef Slider, and then pushing the heavy so far back. Oh, they took so much space with that 1 slider.
Yeah, what an incredibly placed slider, along with a bit of combination damage from another source, meaning that 2 of Chicken Coop's players get sent back to the respawn, but the Carbon gets a collateral with a vertical swing, and the script flips again! This is an incredibly close match! My goodness, both of these teams do not want to go home this early. They do not want to be put in a bad situation in terms of the bracket. Oh, the Heavy's going to face off, drop off. It's a mutual trade. Both Heavies trade with fall off. That's incredible.
Yeah, we have 2 specials coming out, the Zuka and the Jet at the same time, pushing the enemy team back really far. We got that slider out. Are we going to use it to hold this space? No, we're going to conserve it a little bit. The Brella's down. The Chicken Coop is probably going to take the zone back. We see the Dread and the Shot. Everybody is playing very defensively, so even though the zone got taken, they just made sure that they lived to take it again. You know, that little bit of extra penalty, it's light work. It's nothing. They're already down to 15 points left.
Indeed. And again, like, we got 45 seconds. That's a long time in terms of Splatoon, but unfortunately there's a flank on the left, and the Bucket and Roller do get caught out. And unfortunately, it's looking like Spicy Calamari is going to try and, you know, dominate this final half minute with a sheer force. But look at this. The Octo Shot is pushing mid on his own, attempting to make sure that it doesn't go uncontested. The Heavy is attempting to follow up on it. One player goes down on the side of Spicy Calamari. Two might go down. What a burst bomb to kill the Jet! And the Zuka comes out to follow up with some chip damage, maybe get a pick or two. Oh my goodness. There's no way to describe this. This is just a brawl of monstrous proportions for a scramble. Oh my goodness, ledge pick as well from the roller. How do you commentate this without losing your mind?
Overtime is really close to being taken by Chicken Coop. If Spicy Calamari doesn't win a fight or get some kind of special, they're not going to be able to make it. The Wavebreaker goes down to 2 down. They have 12 left. We have an emergency here. The Dread goes into the spider and can't cap it. And that's it. Just one overtime push.
Oh my goodness. How can you ever be prepared for that? Like, they held onto that. They held on tooth and nail for 5 minutes, and then finally were able to take the zone from their opponents. Absolute cinema of a game. Zero complaints. Well played to both teams.
Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking for the side of Spicy Calamari. You could see how much better they were doing in terms of coordinating their specials together, making sure that their resources were conserved. They played at their range. They were very patient. They didn't overextend too much. But all it took was one good push from Chicken Coop, one good hold to score that overtime push at the last second. It really happens, you know, in those moments when you're on the back foot and you have the overtime and you need to win. Sometimes that adrenaline just kicks in and you just lock in.
Indeed. When something you learn pretty quickly when you start commentating in Splatoon is nothing will prepare you for when someone pulls the clutch. Nothing prepares you for it.
I was definitely like, mentally I had reserved myself for Calamari winning that game, to be honest. So it was completely unexpected.
The burst bomb from the Carbon in order to get a pick on the Jet was phenomenal. What a throw.
That was crazy, actually. Like, that was the moment that I was like, oh, they're locked in. Oh, this is not going to be easy.
Hold on, leans forward. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, but we got, our next match, we got, Scorch Gorge Clams. Mentioned before that Clams is, like, the true test of team coordination. Very interesting to watch newer players play it, to see just how comfortable they are with each other and how well they can communicate with each other. The pacing and the fighting and the pacing, the team fights, and the pushes, they all have to be, you have to be together with your team all the time, and then making sure that you can be organized while holding those pushes, still very important. Scorch, one of those maps where it has like a very important choke point, like above the slope, that that's the area that's like really difficult to get to if you have the enemy team trying to lock you out of it. But if you can get past that slope, you can lock out the spawn pretty reasonably.
Yeah. The main objective for both of these teams, depending on how this goes, is going to be get up that ramp and stay there. That is how you want it. That's how you push this game. Push on this map. You try and get hold of ramp, and then you attempt to hold it. But the problem is, I'm not sure which team is better equipped for it. Both teams have a wave breaker, so it is going to be really easy to clean space. Both sharking weapons are actually pretty close to each other without knowing it. Never mind, the Octobrush is actually going to attempt to fling from afar, but unfortunately, it's Brush, mate. Nogami hates us.
What a shame. Brush will never have anything after Brush Nouveau.
I mean, to be fair, we did get the Octobrush kit, but that's beside the point. Anyways, this is turning into a relatively classic brawl once again in terms of clan blitz. Both teams getting picks on each other here and there, but nothing big coming in. A ball does attempt to push up on its own to Calamari's basket, but it gets immediately thwarted as two players just send them packing.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, where your pushes have to be coordinated. If one person goes in with a power clam with nobody else, even if they scored it, there isn't a whole lot your team can do to follow up. and the power clam is just gone, and that's pretty much your whole clam economy. We do have a power clam on the side of Chicken Coop, but I would argue that Spicy Calamari has a better... Well, they did have a better clam economy until just a second ago, actually.
Commentators curse happens every time. And the thing is, when you have a clam ready, there is a giant neon sign over your head saying, shoot me. So it's not exactly easy to sneak up to the basket, unless you're juggling clams. Now, here we go. The shot is actually attempting to push forward. They do score, but who's there to carry it on? Unfortunately, no one. The other two teammates were respawning, and they don't have any clams to score. So this is going to give Spicy Calamari a pity ball, and we may just see an immediate repush. Oh my goodness, never mind. Both teams go back to trading blows in mid. Welcome back to Clam Blitz. Welcome back to TDM.
Yeah, if you can do that kind of push and then keep the middle of the map even so you guys can hold space and give yourself the opportunity to collect more clams, have more resources, it's not the most ideal because you do give the enemy team a pity, but if you can hold this space, you do technically have the lead, and it is now on Spicy Calamari to make this push because you could lock them out for the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds with just that one score. Clams is the 2 going down though. Yeah, that's what we get for managing to keep mid after that push, is we get to just do another push right afterwards. But we don't really have a power clam to actually score here, so we're going to have to hold this for a while.
Yeah, agree. This is a bit of a preemptive push, unfortunately, from Chicken Coop. Like, they did really good job claiming the space, but a majority of the clams on the field were respawning. So it's not going to come to much. It's just going to return to neutral. A Waybreaker does come out and attempt to create some space for the respawning teammates. A player does get marked. And, ooh, good jump out from the Tri-Nouveau, saving their cooler and trying to maybe initiate another push. Both teams now, oh my goodness, the Kraken coming in, protecting the ball carrier, allowing them to score, but unfortunately gets immediately refragged. And it seems to be the similar situation to how the first push happened with Chicken Coop. One player gets the ball in, but nobody's there, nobody is able to follow it up. And now we have Chicken Coop building a very strong-looking clam economy off of that push. And they do have a couple of resources here. But no, somebody goes down to a rogue auto bomb. A second one falls right after, and the other two just are gonna fall like dominoes. It's tragic, but luckily Cooler is here to keep the resources not too damaged.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why you have to have those really strong and long pushes in this mode. Because you can get that one power clam in, but it's really easy, like, because once the clam is scored, oh, speaking of clams being scored, we're already moving in with a power clam, and we do have a little bit of clams to throw in here. Not the safest position, but we have time.
Oh my goodness, what a jump.
Clam being jumped in, getting that extra 20 points. We have secured a pretty solid lead here. Normally 50 to 81 isn't the most meaningful lead, but with only a minute left on the clock, and with Spicy Calamari having absolutely no clams to follow up off of this push, going 3 down, they still have their pity, so they can still make another push, but they're definitely on the back foot here. With 10 points left of penalty, they're gonna have to score one power clam and about 4 regular clams. They have to make sure that they have the resources for one more push in the next 20 seconds. And clams overtime does not last that long, so we gotta lock in.
What a shot from the Elita, by the way. But anyway, yeah, I do agree. Spicy Calamari have put themselves in a relatively difficult situation as they have no resources and they've lost a majority. Never mind, I'll shut up, I'll be quiet. They just killed 2 with the Zuka. 3 go down, and Chicken Coop's in trouble now. Last player needs to lock in and keep them alive. Oh, Inkmine does go off, but the ball carrier is still alive. It's not looking good. Chicken Coop has 2 players left, trying desperately to hold the point. Booyah comes out, throws it at their feet, but the
slider!
The slider comes out, does actually get some paint. No, the ball falls off! The ball falls off! No! Absolute cinema. The Dreadringer was too occupied fighting the leader to realize the ball was gonna bounce off. Tragedy at its finest. Oh my goodness, no. Chicken Coop saved by the bell. And also Gravity. Gravity is a cruel mistress, and every single living being on the planet will always have a very one-sided beef with it. And looks like Spicy Calamari will in fact be learning that lesson today.
I thought it was all good. I thought it was fine. I saw the power clam land on the ledge, and I was like, like I started cringing, but then it stopped moving, and I thought it was chill, and then it just fell. It was like I don't know what happened. I thought it was chilling over there. I was like, okay, it's fine.
It's like seeing a basketball just constantly spin on the rim, or teeter on the rim for a solid like 3 seconds before deciding, you know what, yeah, I am gonna go in, or I'm gonna go out. It's like, it's just painful to watch, and in that case, oh, that sucks, man. It was we were this close, like, oh, you know? Like, we were this one in-game unit away from that clam staying put.
Literally, and that's so
Pain.
sad to see on the E-Leader's perspective specifically, because you could see that the dread was focused on it, which means that clam just disappeared behind the dread's back. And that that does not feel good. I couldn't imagine being in that position where I thought the power clam was safe, and then like it just like, because you could see the icon of it like on your side, so I can just imagine from the dread's perspective, you think the power clam is good, and then it's just like,
you just hear the horn, just and like, what?
Yeah, just like you could like see it slowly start moving somewhere, and then.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, really. One moment. Just go. Okay, all right. But yeah, unfortunately, that does happen. Like, you really can't blame the Elite for, well, you can't blame the Dread, pardon me, for focusing on the immediate threat of the Lita. Like, it was tragic, unfortunately. Like, it's either you look at the weapon that's going to one-shot you, or you look at the objective. Like, it's a 50-50 choice.
Yeah, and if you look at the objective, the weapon that one-shots you, one-shots you.